Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, the DIA, the IYT, the USO, the UUP, and the GLD. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames, and we use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. And please follow us on Twitter and StockTwits. And for our intraday live stream and videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, StockBookie. All right, guys, let's get right into the daily SPY. And again, we're above this trend line. We've been talking about this one for at least, about a week or so. We did close below it. We never confirmed. Actually, we did confirm. We popped back up, and here we go again. Let's see if we could go for the all-time high, which is 221.82, or do we just stay and chop around, let the 20 MA curl up in the price, and then we'll see if this thing can rocket ship up. Or on light volume, does it just kind of go through price and just chop around and possibly some downside? Right now, it's in a bullish stance above all the MAs, so you can't rule out anything at this point. We're in the holiday month, so light volume, anything's possible, guys. So with Yellen coming up next week, that's the only wild card that I see, and there's some other stuff with the ECB, but I honestly could care less. I'm just following the charts. Weekly close last week. We did close right on top of the old all-time high, which is around 219.50, and today they bounced it right back up. So let's see on the weekly close what's going on. Pretty much I'm following the weekly at this point. The daily's just kind of chopping around. So let's see if we could stay above this trend line and keep going, or do we come right back down, maybe engulf, fill the gap, and possibly come lower. The next couple days will tell us a little bit more of the story. IWM still kind of in rally mode. Today it was up 225 or 1.72%. Just won't give it up, guys. This was like the last one. This was the one that was lagging the whole time. And since it was lagging, they got to get this one at the all-time highs because this is the best bang for the buck. If you get the SPY going from the all-time high, there's not that much left. So this one you got to get from 115 to 133, and as it's chopping around, you got distribution, guys, from the big boys. That's what's going on right now. You had a nice little retrace up in here, just like the SPY into the 750. Let's see if we could get some follow through. I want to see more. I want to see volume like this, guys. Come on, push it up. I just want to see this light volume float just going up into 136 area. I want to see some conviction. I want to see more than 27 million on a day. I want to see like the volume in here. I want to see 60 million, 70 million, like when they pushed this thing up in everyone's face and got all the shorts in here on the Trump. Oh, if Trump wins, it's going to be a disaster. And then boom, Trump wins, and it's like, oh, what is going on here? You know how many shorts got stuck in this trade right here? A ton. So if you're not short this IWM, short it. that's what I did. Weekly chart. Same thing, just chopping around. We're above the MAs, a little bit stretch. Let's see. We had a nice engulfing candle. They gapped it up today. Let's see if we can do an inside bar. Just kind of sloppy, choppy, bullish pattern, but let's see if this thing is going to take off or is it going to fail and come right back in. Again, we'll have to see maybe the weekly close. I'm following most of these on the weekly close because the daily, it will just drive you crazy in the late volume environment. Qs is still pretty much the weak horse. I mean, it was up 90 cents today. The DIA was up 48 cents today. This one was up 0.78%. So not that, the Amazon was running, the Google was running, the Facebook, of course, the FANG, but then the Netflix, that ran last week. So they must have needed higher prices for the weekly options to expire worthless. You know how it goes, guys. That's the name of the game. Options are tough in these markets right now, guys, especially trying to buy puts on the SPY and the Qs. You might get those couple days down. You get these 2 days down, you get out of them. You take whatever they gave you and say thank you very much, and here we go again. But the daily chart, a little bit different story on the Qs. Down, sideways, you got an inside bar. You're below these moving averages here, but you're still above the 200 right there. I'm going to extend this one out a little bit. That's another trend line there. So let's see. Right now we're waiting on pattern. Let's see if we can possibly go up maybe higher into these moving averages, or do we just chop around down here for the next wave down? Still needs to get above the MAs, still needs to get above the all-time high, then possibly more upside. But right now, nothing to worry about if you're long. We are short the Qs too, so just to let everybody know. And weekly chart, we are below the 20 MA. Let's see if we can consolidate sideways for the next couple weeks, and then possibly into January we get the next selling wave. But honestly, with next week coming with Yellen, anything's possible. But most likely she's going to be waiting on data, guys. But I don't know. We'll see. She surprised us last year. We all know what happened in January when it was bleeding. The first of the year, everyone Was like, whoa, what is going on here? I don't get this. But it always goes up. But the DIA, we had a nice bullish pattern starting to break up. But you know, the light volume, we had pretty good volume on here. We had a little doji. So it's just kind of puttering out. And what this reminds me of now reminds me of the Qs when it was just kind of floating, doing nothing, no pattern. I mean, it came off this pattern a little bit, but you know, now it's just kind of da 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 on the light volume. You get a little bit of a spike here. And that was probably, I think, the Goldman Sachs and the GS running and the Deere running and the Nike running. It's just like, oh my gosh. But look at this. If you bought puts here and trying to catch the downside, you're just getting murdered. And then the Trump, and then now it's the Trump rally. Ay, it's crazy. But now we have no technicals up here, so it's really even numbers, 195, 200 maybe. If this thing starts to putter out, we'll probably make a rounded top and start falling. But again, just keep your eyes on it. Light volume will help these markets just float. So anything's possible, guys. Again, we're making new all-time highs, and this thing just keeps going on hopes and dreams. No, I don't know. I just, you know, one day at a time, guys. So we're looking at the IYT. This one is still lagging, still not making all-time highs. We have a couple little tails as this thing's going up. Volume's not terrible, but it's not great either. You had 340,000 shares today. Nothing to shake at. 3 days ago, we had about 700,000. This is a light volume name regardless, but you got to keep an eye on this one. You still have 165 and 167 up here at double top. So let's see if we can make it up there. If you are short this one, you still want to add up in here, you can. If you're not short this one, I would definitely start shorting it, especially even if it got the double top, because the time will come for these things to start coming in. And for us at StockBookie, we're just looking for short-term gains, guys. We're not looking to marry these things. We're just looking to get in, get out, and say thank you very much, on to the next one. But you're into this big breakdown bar on the weekly, so that's where we pretty much went in today, and it kind of reversed. We'll have to see what happens on the weekly close. I would love to see this thing reverse and engulf like 160, 158, get down in there and close on a weekly, then I think we can possibly set up for lower prices. So if you're long, tighten up the stops. If you're short, just hold on to your shorts. If you're not short, you could definitely get short in this one right here. You can always use like 170 as a stop out if you wanted to go a little bit wider, but definitely a great area to short in my opinion. USO. So the USO, we talked about this one last week. We had a little bit of a head and shoulder pattern. We'll see if it starts to play out. Intraday action was really interesting on this one today. We kind of gapped up, kind of just chopped around, a little bit of a bearish pattern, and then at the end of the day, it kind of came in, and that was surprising. I'm surprised they just didn't hold it up. So that tells me someone was doing a little distribution up here at the top. And it was like, whoa, what's going on here? Market makers had to, readjust and, okay, let's hold it up. Let's hold it up. And let's see, we came right in. Nope. There's a little gap window right there. So who knows with oil? I mean, it's like it's the news-driven industry right now, with the Saudis and Iran and Putin and this guy, that guy. But I like the fact that we gapped up here and then came right back in. We're still below this trend line. That's what we've been watching. We've been adding on the SCO, and we added also on the USO here as well. We got caught with a quarter position down in here. We were hoping for lower prices, but we went back up in the three-quarter position. We started adding again as this thing was going up. So we are short the USO, and we are long the SCO, which is the short of the USO. But 3 times. We're not real heavy with that one. But the SCO is coming back a little bit. Let's see if we can get more downside action on the USO tomorrow, and that will help us out with this trade. And then on the weekly, not too much. We're just trying to get above this trend line. Got above it today, came right back in. Now we're waiting for pattern. It always had a little bit of difficulty as it was coming up into this area, 1179 or so, came right back in. So we'll see if we get the same scenario. But like I said, if this little head and shoulder pattern plays out, we don't have the right shoulder yet. If it comes back into here, we're definitely going in the 762, 7 area. And if this head and shoulder plays out, the bigger one over here, we're going to 648. So write that one down, people. The UUP. This one's coming in a little bit more. Let's go to the daily. We talked about this one too. I mean, it had a real good run. You'd expect a little bit of a pullback. We did come to this inside bar, and we also came into the 200 or the 20 moving average. Let's see if this thing comes down, confirms, maybe fills the gap down in here. If it starts coming down in here again, I might actually pick up a long in the dollar, but we're going to see, especially if you pull this one back, I love this trend line in here. We could draw, you know what? Let me draw it in a little bit better. But yeah, we did go long the dollar. We did already cover a little while back, and wrong move again. Of course, it keeps going, but like I said, we're a big believer just to take the profit and run and say thank you very much. But you have a trend line there, which is pretty good. I don't know if it's going to go back to 24, 25, but at this point, with Yellen coming up, they could start doing the manipulation, make the dollar go up, make the dollar go down, whatever they want to do to get the oil prices, gold prices, or whatever their big plan is for our economy or whatever they're doing. Because right now, guys, this is all an experiment. They've never done the QE 1, 2, 3. They've never monetized our debt, buying our bonds, POMO, Operation Twist. I mean, they have so many different things they've been doing. It's just flat out stupid. And then they tell everybody it's all great. Well, it's all great because when you have trillions of dollars pouring in from the Fed, of course, then you're manipulating all this crap. I mean, look at the dollar. When everything ended in 2014, remember the dollar was ripping up, oil was going down. We got the end of the year, and that was the oil stimulus. And then the dollar just sat around here for the next 2 years, gave us $2 gas, and everyone's happy again. But we'll see, guys. We'll see what happens on next Wednesday, and what Yellen says. Expect gold to go up, down, sideways, whatever. Expect the oil to go up and down, the dollar to go up and down. It's going to be really interesting here. So, all right, so that's the UUP. Again, we are short the UUP. And then the GLD, we've been adding longs to this one, and which I believe is the right thing to do. We saw this move here, and we talked about this, that we're going to miss the trade, and boom, everybody went long here. After that couple day move up, and then the talking heads hype it up, and everybody gets in there, and then all of a sudden, boom, 2-3 weeks, and now everyone's like, oh my gosh, what is going on? So a couple more weeks down here, maybe one day where it just flushes, you're going to get all these people just to dump and say, oh my gosh, I'm taking my loss. And the funny thing is, guys, we'll be loading them up to go long. So right now we're holding tight here, nothing to worry about. Again, we're waiting for maybe the 108 to 106 area to add a little bit more. Let's go to the weekly. Weekly shows it a little bit better. We have a gap fill around 107, 105, gosh, 101.50. I don't know if we'll get down there that low, but it's looking pretty good. I do like the 750 around 108. So let's see if we can get back down here, maybe a little bit lower. We started adding right around 115. We added around 112. And we'll add again, around 106, 107, 108, anywhere down here. I don't see a problem to add to gold. So, yeah. So right now, guys, we're waiting on, Yellen next week. So this market can be complacent. I've had a couple emails from a couple of my friends on here that it's driving me crazy. What do we do? What do we do? Right now, you got to do shares. It's really hard to do it. You can maybe possibly short a put. Or write a put, but then you do the one time you do that, because I've been following these puts. If you would have wrote puts on the SPY, the IWM, and the Qs every month, you just kill it. There might have been one month where you might have lost a little bit, but I've been keeping track of this stuff. Even if you went a couple months out, you would just be killing it. So if you can do that, it's still a high risk, but the puts right now just aren't working. So that's why I'm going small positions in my shorts. And if I get anything like Humana we took off today, or Aetna, I think Aetna and Humana, we were telling people to take off the table. So I'd have to look back at my Twitter. But we are in a Goldman. We did short Tesla today. We took half off the table. We were in a Nike trade again, a little upside down on Goldman, upside down on JPM. A couple other ones too, the Nvidia, of course, but you know what? The MLM, we're right there. The Tesoro just won't give it up. It's pretty crazy, guys, what's going on here. So just remember, though, light volume markets, these guys can make stocks go whichever way they want. When you get conviction, an up move or a conviction down move, that's when they can't do anything. When we get massive volume on the SPY and we're dumping, then they can't do anything. But in the meantime, these guys got to make money and be green for the year. All right, guys, thanks for watching my videos. God bless. See you on the charts.